Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today we're going to try to do something a little bit different today. We're going to be recording an episode like always. It's just going to be a simple live catch up, doing all of our segments, but that's just the episode. But we're going to also try it like an unedited version, kind of like unedited, uncut vlog style. So hopefully it's still a good listening slash watching experience.
Glitching. Oh no. We already know about it. My laptop. Okay, there we go. Yeah, hopefully we don't have any, difficulties. The universe is on our side this time. Because I feel like it never is.
No, that part, but podcast gods, please be on our side today. But we're just gonna get into obviously what we've been up to because we did not post last week because life has been crazy for both of us. A whole bunch of things going on, especially with the end of the school year going on and Liz having her spring break. So let's get right into it. I'll go into mine first because it's a lot shorter than Elizabeth's, but I really just remembered to put this into the outline right before recording, but I won a Summer Fridays giveaway. I still can't believe I won that giveaway. I'll show you guys today's choice. I'm still getting through using them, but I'm using brown sugar today. So basically, they just had like a little TikTok giveaway. I think you just had to like their post, comment on like their last TikTok with an emoji and like tag some friends. And I honestly like low key forgot. And then one day I just went on TikTok and it was like Summer Fridays mentioned you in a video, and then I saw I had a message. I was like, wait, what? And then I saw that I was one of the winners. And so basically I won like their anniversary set of like their butter lip balm. So I got every single one that they've made so far. So there's like eight, and I got like a limited edition keychain, and they also like sold these, like they had like a limited quantity drop of this, so they're also just giving some away, and it like came in like the PR package style that the influencers got. So I got to feel like an influencer for the day, and it was like the perfect timing because it was my last week of school, so a lot of stress. So it was a nice little surprise. I'm still in disbelief that I won it. I'm like, wait, what? Why did that happen? I'm like, what are the chances I win another giveaway? Because I also won a Gray Bandit one, if you guys remember. And then obviously, if you're new here, me and Liz are in college. We're both seniors. Um, so school is wrapping up. It's actually my finals week. It's the first day of finals. I don't have a final until Wednesday, but I do have to do a lot of studying. And for me, finals and like graduation is in the same week. So not only am I having to study for finals, finish last minute assignments, but I also have to pack up my apartment. So, we just have a lot going on this week, but we're going to get it together. I'm a little stressed about the summer in grad school because there are some things that are not figured out yet, but I'm just trying to take the approach of just taking everything day by day, because if not, I will get very overwhelmed.
And then for me, similar like on the school route, like Kennedy, I'm also wrapping up school. I'm actually finishing my capstone for like back home, and I had to submit that this week while I was traveling. I had planned to submit it a bit earlier, but there was a little technical difficulty on getting something back from my advisor that I had to submit, so I had to wait. So I had to give my one of my friends my login information for Canvas so she could go in and submit the capstone for me. But it's been submitted, so I'm officially done with like my classes back home. And then right now I'm finishing up projects and exams for my classes in Spain. And then this time next week, I'll be officially done with classes. So that's really exciting. And then what have I been up to traveling wise? So I've been very, very busy. I had a spring break that was almost like 3 weeks. And the first like week of that, my mom and brother were actually in Europe and they visited. So I first met up with them in Milan, and we were only there for a couple hours. And let's just say we ended the day in Milan running in the airport, thought we were gonna miss our flight. Um, we were the last people to board that flight. I literally never experienced running in the airport before. Hate that airport. And then we went to Bosnia and we had a car rental, and I actually ended up having to drive because my mom forgot her license. I hadn't driven in 4 months, so that was real interesting. Nothing bad. We all made it. And then they visited me here where I'm at, showed them around, and we ended the trip with them in Barcelona, which I hadn't been to. And I really like Barcelona actually. And then I came back home. I was here for a day. And then the next day, bright and early, 3 a.m., headed to the airport to start my like spring break backpacking trip. So basically, me and one of my friends here, we did 12 days, one backpack, and we did 7 countries. Packing was so hard because all these places have like it's not all one country, so they're gonna have different weather. Figuring all of that out was a struggle. We did kind of like plan to like share closets and everything, so that was nice. We sent each other like what we were packing, so we wouldn't be like packing the same stuff. But still, just 12 days in a single backpack. Very interesting. And so we started off our trip in Lake Como, Italy. We actually flew into Milan and then we took the train to Lake Como. And the way the whole trajectory, like from airport to Lake Como and then Lake Como to our other airport, our tickets were only checked one time. I truly feel like we could have hopped on there with no tickets and nobody would have said a single thing. But with our luck, someone would have noticed. But literally only checked our tickets one time. And we were in Lake Como. Originally we thought when we checked the weather, it was gonna be upper 70s, nice and sunny. We had planned maybe like swimming. No, it was cloudy. It was cold and chilly. So luckily I packed a sweater. Well, that was my airport fit. And then, but halfway throughout the day, it like the sky cleared up, the sun came out. It was completely different weather from the morning. So we had a great time in Lake Como. We were only there for the day. And then we started off our first night on this trip sleeping in the airport because the airports in Milan, not the airports, the hotels in Milan are super expensive. And our flight the next day was like 6 a.m. So we're like, is it worth it? Because, we would only be there for like 4 hours at most. So we slept in the airport. Basically didn't sleep. It was like a chair. I was like moving around. We like had locks, so we locked our backpacks around the chair just in case like someone, I don't know, wanted to steal something. But yeah, started off our trip sleeping in the airport, and then we headed to Croatia. We went to Zagreb, Croatia. Why did we choose this place? There was just a cheap flight there and we're like, it looks pretty, let's go. But it's the capital of Croatia, and it was raining. These were the 2 days of our trip that were like actually raining. And our first day, we had a walking tour outdoors in the rain. Let's just say I ended with my jeans very much wet. I had to hang them up to dry in the hostel. And then the second day in Croatia, we went to this national park, which was actually so pretty. It was like waterfalls, kind of like you were walking on water. There was like a path that was like weaving around with like a wooden path, but you were literally like one step to the right and you would be in the water. But that was really cool. And even though it was raining, honestly, it was a lot of fun. I bought myself a little poncho, stayed dried with that. And the highlight of Croatia had to be this place we went to for dinner. And it was like sweet, savory, and like cheesy, like casserole kind of dish almost. I don't know how to describe it, but we went back twice. So very, very good. And then from Croatia, we went to Vienna. We took an overnight bus to Vienna. Um, so we left at like 11:30 p.m. and we got into Vienna at 4 a.m. Okay. Our original plan was okay, we get to Vienna, we wake up, well, we get off the bus, we go like see the sunrise, it'll be empty, like walk around a bit. We got off that bus and I couldn't find my glasses, first of all, so I was like blind, okay? I got off that bus, blind, blurry, darkness. All I could see was shadows of people, and it was cold. It was like 40s. I was like, in that moment, I contemplated my entire existence. Me and my friend, we were both just kind of like silent, and I think we were both just like contemplating everything. I very much got on like Hostel World and was like, oh, okay, let me see if we can get like a hostel to go to. Because it was 4 a.m. that day, there was only like places for that night. So that was out of the question. So we found a McDonald's that opened up at 5 a.m. And we were actually there with like all the people that were finishing their night going out, like munchies. 2 seats from us, there was a guy that was kind of like passed out, and I think he had some vomit on him. We sat at the McDonald's from like 5 to 8, and then got ready in the bathroom, and then that was like the one hiccup where I was like really contemplating everything. We just didn't factor in that the sun rises way later in Vienna, apparently. But with all that being said, we had a great day in Vienna. Beautiful weather, the parks, the vibes, everything, excellent. Up until that point, Vienna was my favorite place of the trip we visited. Just ignoring that 4 a.m. McDonald's hiccup. Every time we would pass a McDonald's that day, it'd be like, don't even look at it. Don't want to associate anything with it. And then we took another, I don't even think you can consider this an overnight bus. It was just a late bus, but it was only 3 hours. And we went to Budapest, Hungary, and we had a little. So we were getting on the bus. There was a bus that pulls up that's going to Budapest, right? We go and we scan our tickets, and the guy shakes his head at me, no. And I'm like, what do you mean, no? Like, my ticket literally says, and he's like, no, like, this isn't it. And in that moment, we kind of like start, like, my heart kind of sank for a second because I was like, oh my gosh, of course, this is how we're ending the night here after our 4 a.m. But then there was a couple that also the bus driver like was like no to them, so we kind of followed them and we found the right bus. So crisis averted. And yeah, it was only a 3 hour bus ride into Budapest, which was nice. And we had a bed that night, so that was great. And in Budapest, our first night, we went to these thermal baths and it had like saunas inside. And the saunas were like all different, like temperatures, obviously, but different. I don't even know, like air coming out. I don't know how you describe it. Like one of them, my favorite, had like essential oils kind of. It was very, very relaxing. They had this pool that was like a cold plunge. I only made it like belly button down. But I tried to do a little cold plunge for a moment. And then in Budapest, we also did a little unlimited Prosecco boat tour at night. Very pretty, lit up and everything. And yeah, we just explored Budapest for 2 days. And then we took a train or bus. I can't remember. One of those two to Prague. And this Prague became my favorite place. Oh wait, no. We took an overnight bus to Prague. Like completely overnight, got there like 6:30 in the morning. And we were lucky that it wasn't full, so we got and got our whole row to ourselves. And I was able to I was knocked out that bus ride. Nothing like that Vienna one where I barely slept. But in Prague became my favorite city that I've been to overall. It was so pretty, just all about it. It it's just I can't even describe it. It was just beautiful, and I loved Prague so much. And then we flew to Germany, and y'all, this entire time I've been traveling, I've never once been told to like check my bag size. I've never once been charged for my backpack or anything. I've always been set. I've always been good. And it's always been Ryanair. If you like know anything, people hating on Ryanair, but like Ryanair has done me right. The one time we fly not Ryanair, I get back checked. Them German people, they were on something is all I know because every single person was getting their back checked. I try to like layer up a little bit more and it just wasn't working. I was just like, I give up. Like, I don't care at this point. I was so like over it. And I paid, whatever I paid for my bag was more than my flight was worth. But yeah, they got me and they charged me for my bag. And yeah, that's how Germany started. But Germany was a great day. We did a little bike tour, explored around. We were in Berlin, which is like more city like, but there's like a lot of history to it. So it was really cool being there. And then we ended our trip in Switzerland. And oh, I got charged my bag from Berlin to Switzerland, by the way. But we got to Switzerland. We went to two places. We first went to Lucerne, which is where you can see the Swiss Alps from. And it was really, really pretty, like seeing them, the peaks and everything. And we had a little hiccup here. So our tickets, we got onto the first like train carriage where it said number one. Logically, we were thinking, okay, number one means it's the train cart number one, right? So we sit there. It's literally like an hour ride, and at the end, they're checking our tickets. She scans it, and she says, "You're in the wrong section. You're in the first class one." And we're like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "You rode all the way from Zurich to Lucerne, so you have to pay the upgrade for first class." The shock on our faces. I was like, how much is like in my head? I was like, how much is this gonna cost? First class is like pricey. I feel like, right? Um, but she was really nice. The lady was really nice, and I guess she took some pity on us because we were nice with her too. Like we didn't like get in an attitude or anything. We were genuinely shocked, and she said that it was supposed to be 20, but she was only going to charge us 10. So I guess that was really nice. She said other people were like really rude and everything, but like, and then she said she was like saying how like all the first class ones have like a yellow line and the number one. How am I supposed to know what that means? Like, can't y'all just write first class on there, you know? Especially when we got on the first cart, we were thinking cart number one, as all the trains we've been on are. But I guess they're a little different there. But we were in Lucerne, got to see the Alps, and then we went back to Zurich. When we got there, it was great weather. It was like sunny, and then it got a bit rainy, and it was like on and off rain. And we finished doing everything we wanted to pretty early, so we decided to head to the airport a bit earlier. We were like, okay, we can connect to Wi-Fi. We're out of the rain. We've been like journaling and stuff over our trips. We can like do all that. Little did we know, our flight was going to get delayed. We were supposed to leave at 8:45 and get into Spain at 10:55, and then it got delayed to like 30 minutes. I was like, okay. Then it got delayed an hour. We didn't leave Switzerland until 11:30 p.m. We didn't get into Spain until like 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m., almost 2 a.m. The only people in like our little like terminal area, it was all the people on our flight. Everybody was like, "What the heck's going on here?" I was getting a little bit nervous because I feel like after 11:30, it's not gonna get delayed no more. It's gonna get canceled. So luckily that didn't happen, and we made it back into Spain. After my trauma of getting charged though for my bag, I was not gonna take any risks. I literally had a shirt. I put on a tank top over it. I put on a long sleeve over that. Then I put on a white sweater over that. I put on like a jean, like loose jacket thing, and then my raincoat on top of that. I was not getting charged again. But because it was a late flight, they weren't even checking our bags. I feel like I could have had an extra bag and they wouldn't have even noticed. But yeah, that was my 12-day backpacking journey around Europe a little bit. And in conclusion, we did so many picnics for lunch, and I just want to say we need to start doing more picnics, Kennedy. Like over the summer, picnics are going to be a thing because the vibes great and the food cheap. So I don't know if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions, but all I had to say was you telling that was a whole roller coaster. One minute is going good, next minute it's not, and my heart would have dropped over the first class thing. But good thing it was only $20, and I agree they do need to put first class because I would have thought the same thing about just one. And yes, and I agree. We do need to have picnics. I feel like we did like picnics were more of a thing during the pandemic time. But yes, I agree. More picnics.
In the way, I just want to point out real quick, there was absolutely no difference between the first class and the second class or like the economy. Maybe a little bit extra leg room. And maybe the seats, like the padding of it was a little different, but they felt the exact same. There was absolutely no other difference between them. But, anyways,
Yeah, that's crazy. I was gonna ask what was the difference, but yeah, obviously not much. That's how they be getting their money.
right? I would have thought it was like a flight upgrade. No, the exact same. But anyways, now we're gonna go ahead and get to our favorites of the week. My favorite, honestly, just like my whole travel. I don't have like a specific tangible object or anything. I was gonna say my backpack, but then I was thinking back doing the outline, and I remembered how I got charged for it, so that wasn't a favorite of my trip. So yeah.
My favorite, this is very random and so not on brand for me, but entrepreneurial podcast episodes. So like co-founders on podcasts, just like hearing co-founders talk. Like it all started because I was watching this YouTube video and she recommended listening to the Snapchat founder on Diary of the CEO. And then I went and looked to see what other people this guy has covered, and then I listened to the LinkedIn one, and it just has been a domino effect. I don't know. Maybe it's just the business student in me, but it's just like so interesting just to hear how people create their businesses, no matter what it is, whether it's tech, clothing, and just like hearing their stories of working from like the ground up. And it's just very interesting, especially because I'm like, I've always said I wouldn't want to start my own business, but like I do have the interest of like maybe in the future creating something that could be interesting. So it's just interesting to hear like just the just like the background of it, especially because I've started listening to Burnouts, which is Bill Gates' daughter and her friend from Stanford. They created their own app, and it's just interesting. How many times am I going to say that just to like hear all the backgrounds and just the making the concept and all that? It's just I'm going to say it really interesting.
At first, I thought I don't know why, the business people gonna come hating for me. I already know it, but I thought you were gonna go on like I was more confused because you said entrepreneurial, and I was like, she listens to stock market stuff. Like, what is she listening to? That sounds so boring. What is wrong with her? But yeah, that makes so much more sense. That actually does sound pretty interesting. I've been getting clips of like stuff like that, just like seeing how they went from nothing to like something, you know. But don't come for me, business people.
No, I'm a business person. I agree. You will never catch me listening to stuff about stocks. um, but now we're gonna get into our sports corner because the Miami GP just happened, and I'm gonna shamelessly plug my TikTok at Ken.Thorn because I'm starting to make kind of like watch with me race videos because I feel like I don't see people making that. So I'm gonna be an innovator in that space. But yeah, the Miami GP just happened. I just have a couple comments about before the actual race day, but an exciting thing, Kimmy got sprint quali pole. I was like, wait, what did he get? Sprint quality pole, which is super exciting. Like his career is just amazing. Actually, today I forgot, but today, his show on Netflix is out. I was listening to a F1 podcast while I was getting ready, and they said that it's only 40 minutes, and that it's like really, I'm gonna say it, interesting. So I think I'm gonna watch it later tonight. But that's really exciting. Sprint. I'm not gonna really go into it, but it was chaotic. Charles, I should have known it was gonna be a mess because Charles didn't even make it to sprint because of the rain. Like on his way to the grid, he crashed into the wall because of the rain. So, oh, and sprint, it was like delayed a bit because the rain was that heavy, like they could not see in front of them. But yeah, I was glad that Kimmy got sprint quality pole. Um, he did end up losing that position, but you know what? He's a rookie. He still has a lot to learn. And then this is not really F1 related, but like F1 adjacent because we're gonna be talking about Alex. But she kind of like co-hosted an event in Miami for the race weekend, and it was like my Super Bowl. I loved it. I just loved everything about it. Like I'm actually obsessed with Alex. I know so many people have problem with like the wags and all that stuff, but not me. You won't find that over here. Like I'm obsessed with her. Like I want to be her friend. Like she was just so cool and just like just seeing on the content with Leo, which put respect on his full name. It's Leo Leclerc, same Moo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we'll figure it out eventually. But put some respect on his full name.
Legal lessons are failing you.
No, for real. They don't go over last names in Duolingo. Um, but yeah, so her road event just looks so cool. I'm obsessed with that whole collaboration. Like it just makes sense. And then Max had a baby. His baby was born literally right before the race. Like that's just so on brand. It was like rumors on the street, like, oh, like Max is not there for media day, like Kelly is in labor, and then what do you know? The baby's here. And it's a sweet little baby girl, and her name is Lily, which is just so cute. Oh, I didn't know if you had something to say. Um, and now we're gonna get into the race day. So let's start with the driver's parade. Honestly, usually driver parades are literally a nothing to talk about, but this time it was so fun. So basically, Lego and Formula One, they've been kind of, had a partnership. But today, or not today, for this race, they had like life size F1 cars, but all made out of Legos, and they actually were like drivable. So they drove around the track or whatever for the driver's parade in these Lego cars, and it was like they were little kids again. Just seeing them just like full smiles on their face, just laughing was so good. And like they were all filming on their phones, they were crashing into each other. It was so funny. And Lewis, he actually like posted a TikTok from his POV and just like hearing his little laughs was just so cute. I was like, ah. And of course, my McLaren boys, they were up there. Lando was driving. I was like, oh God. And he was just up there playing. It was just so fun to just see drivers in that element and just have fun with each other. I don't know, Liz, if you have any comments about it.
I love the Lego content. The Lego content was my favorite thing of the race weekend. I haven't even seen TikToks of the actual race, just the Lego. Did you know, I saw one. It took like 22,000 hours to make these Lego cars. Because they look exactly like the actual one, like even like the logo and everything. it was just that's crazy how much time went into it for them to just like wreck them in 5 seconds. But I thought it was really funny whenever they would crash and it would just be like little pieces of Lego coming off because normally when they crash, it's like kind of scary out there. And then I just thought it was so funny seeing them do it, and then just like how they were like fighting to see who would drive. I saw one of for Williams, Alex and Carlos was like already in the driver's seat, and he's like, "I'm not moving, like I'm already here." I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, they all like to have control of the driver's seats. But yeah, it was just some good content. But yeah, the results of the race, it was a crazy race. There was four retirements, and yeah, it was Ferrari disappointed me again. But I was happy with the results because it ended with a McLaren 1-2. Oscar got P1, Lando P2, and then George Russell P3. He is always there, and we love to see it. And yes, Oscar is in the lead for the drivers, which no one saw coming, but wow. um yeah. I don't really know what to say off of that, but yeah, I did not see that one coming for this season.
I am so excited for all of the drama that is about to come out of this. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of like tension between the drivers. Just because seeing who is McLaren gonna like choose to like lead the team, kind of, because I feel like I don't know if McLaren still does, but I know in the past they've had that strategy of like they don't have a number one driver, like they're both number one drivers. And I feel like they still do. I could be wrong. So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how it goes because every like race it's been McLaren has been either P1, 2, or 3. So they're racking up points, but who's gonna win? It's definitely gonna be between them two, unless George surprises us. George's been doing really good, I feel like, but very interesting.
I'm scared to see how that's gonna end. But yeah, so it was a very good race. Again, I'm gonna plug my TikTok, shameless plug, if you really want to see like my full thoughts and reactions during watching it. But the next race is the Imola Grand Prix in Italy. It's like one or two Italian races. But we did drive what? We did draw beforehand recording. So Elizabeth's drivers for the Italian Grand Prix is Lando Norris and Gabriele Bortoleto. So she has a really good draw. I feel like Lando's really going to help you out considering where your points are after this week.
Yeah, my drivers failed me. For those of you guys who didn't know, I got like no points, I'm pretty sure, right, Kennedy?
Yeah, so basically, both of her drivers were part of the retirements, the DNFs. So she lost 20 points.
Yeah, because we were like really close, and now I'm like 20 points behind. So I'm gonna need my Lando. He needs to be Oscar this next race. Because what is this? And then Kennedy's drivers for the next race are Lando. No, no, no. Hold on. I had Ollie Bierman is one of hers, and then
Yes.
her other driver is. This is not good for unedited version. Lewis Hamilton is her other one.
Yes. So hopefully, I don't know, Ollie, he's had some tricky races, but Lewis pulled through, but we don't know because Ferrari be doing my people's dirty, but we're not gonna talk about that today. We're gonna have happy vibes. But a quick points updates based on the last race, I have 64 points because I got 4 points for finish or no, I got 4 points for between fourth and 10th place and finishing ahead of a teammate. I got 3 points. And then yeah, Liz, she had double DNF, so minus 20 points, so she has 40 points. But we all know how these races go. One race she gained 40 points, so you never know what can happen.
One day I gained 40 points, the other day I lost half of that. No progress, but we'll see where I go.
And now we're gonna get into our pop culture talk. There's has been a couple of things we're gonna talk about real quick. So first is the Kentucky Derby. We are local Kentuckians, so I feel like to us, Derby isn't necessarily a big deal, but I'm going to put it out there. Kentucky Derby, you should invite us because we're locals. Don't invite these other influencers. They don't know nothing, okay? Invite us. Usually in the past, my family would have done something like years ago. Bet on horses. I didn't bet on anyone. I didn't even know who the horses were until I literally turned it on. And I said, oh, I'll just go for Final Gambit because I like that name. And they placed fourth. So that was exciting. But I just wanted to say that me and Liz, we should be on the invite list next year.
All I know is I know last year, like when TikTok came, not TikTok came out, but when TikTok was popping and all these influencers were at the Derby, I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. And I feel like this year I felt it more because I was like, what are you doing there? Like, I don't know, it just felt more weird to me seeing. And I know it is like a big like sports thing, like people from all over the like world or the country go, but I'm just like, little weird. I don't know. It just rubs me kind of the wrong way that we're inviting all these like influencers that have nothing to do with Kentucky or horses. They literally like I feel like they've never been in Kentucky other than for the Derby. I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I don't know if you have any quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, I literally just got a TikTok about that last night. Just how like these kind of events lately are kind of turning into like influencer events, and it's like it's not necessarily that I have a problem with influencers going, but it's just like the influencers that they're choosing. I guess I don't know how to say it because at the same time with the influencers I do like I don't mind the content, but at the same time it's kind of like what are you doing here? It's just like why is it Kentucky Derby turning into an influencer event? Like I understand it, like they want to get more eyes on it. They want the attendance to go up, but at the same time, you're pricing out locals. Like let's like I doubt there's many locals that are necessarily going to these events, and if they are, like it's not cheap from what I've heard. So it's just an interesting topic to be had. It's like really what is the return like for me personally, I have never seen an influencer at the Kentucky Derby or the Miami Grand Prix going with their brand and being like, oh, now I want to use this brand. You know what I mean? So I do think that is a topic that can be had about like who we're inviting, what brands are activating, and really what that looks like.
Sorry, I glitched out for a second. And also, I feel like it's not the true authentic experience. Like the true authentic people that aren't rich are intense watching the Derby. They aren't dressed super fancy. They have raincoats on because it's always raining. Like y'all aren't showing the actual like Derby. Like people are like out there sliding down mud and stuff because why not? I guess. And then my other thought on it was, gosh, my mind blanked. This would happen when we're doing unedited. Um, I forgot what it was, but yeah, I just find it a little weird that we're inviting all of these like influencers there. Oh, I remember now. I didn't see it live, obviously, but I did see clips, and the way that they were using celebrities to like be announcers, like the Simone Biles clip, that was so weird to me. Like, why are we using these people who I like obviously Simone Biles, okay, she's known. But like some of these other people, I was like, you would only know them if you keep up with them, you know? Like regular Kentucky people don't know who they are. I don't know. That just was really weird to me.
Yeah, they had Livy Dunn, and I watched her clip, and I was like, no offense to her, but like, y'all should have picked someone else. Even for Simone Biles, like, no hate, but like, she was like, love. I was like, oh god, let's get some actual Kentuckians. Like, Andy Bashir was there. Why couldn't he have done it? And were you talking about the outfits? I'm looking at the outline. The outfits being like, do we think they need to be conservative?
Yes, I saw a lot of discourse on TikTok. Specifically, I guess this was more so people could for someone with like a bigger chest and everything, how like it was popping more and then like they compared like someone with a not bigger chest, how like her boobs weren't like necessarily popping out and everything. And people in the comments were like saying like, "Oh, like it's a classy event, like you shouldn't be dressing that way." I just feel like that honestly was more so body type. Like obviously things are going to fit differently on your body. But yeah, I know some people are saying stuff, so I just thought we could mention it a little bit.
Yeah, I saw it. It was Josh Richard's girlfriend, I believe. I saw the dress. Honestly, I didn't really like I thought the dress was cute. I didn't really think it was necessarily immodest. I mean, she does have a bigger chest, so I mean obviously they're gonna pop more, but I didn't think it was inappropriate or anything. I thought it was really cute and classy for the event, in my opinion.
Same. I thought the same thing. Like it fit her so well, and like the classy like Lennon look to it. I thought it was so cute. I think it's just more so like people, obviously don't know that different body types exist.
That part because it was really cute, classy, and it was simple and not doing too much, which we love to see. And then I'm gonna go rapid fire real quick on just some exciting movie, TV show updates. I wanted to talk about just because I feel like some of these things are like me and Liz had kind of like talked about in the past, like things with books. So I thought it could be of interest. But Rudy Pencow, JJ from Outer Banks, he will be in the Reminders of Him book adaptation. I can't remember. I don't even remember if they said what character he's playing, but I do know me and Liz read that book. And I know everyone likes to clown on Coho and her books and her movies, but all I have to say is I will be sad for this movie, no matter how people feel. And I enjoyed the book, so I am excited to see him in this movie. I know people are like, this is such a downgrade, but I will be sad personally.
I feel like the coho hate is like people who read before us. I don't know, like the what's the hockey series called?
Off campus,
Yes, off campus. Like, people now be hating on off campus, and the moment people loved it, I feel like it's the same thing with coho, just like a different generation of readers, Like, obviously, we are reading some cringy stuff at times, you guys.
kind of like the pretentious readers that are like kind of coming out. But I'm excited to see it. I like the book. I think it's a good story. So yeah. And then I don't know, Liz, did you read Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid?
I did not. That's still on my TBR.
It was a pretty decent book from it. I remember I wasn't into tennis when I read it, but maybe I should read it again. But Serena Williams is going to be the executive producer of the Netflix adaptation of Carrie Soto is Back, and it will be a TV series. See, I knew it was going to be produced, but I didn't realize it was going to be by Netflix or a TV series. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited Serena is going to be, on board. So that means it'll probably be pretty accurate with, the tennis being depicted. And it is like a female like main character book, so I feel like it'll be really interesting just to see like a female perspective, especially in this day of age for sports.
I completely just remembered that this book is like focused on a tennis player. I was like, what does Serena Williams have to do with like producing? That makes so much more sense now.
And then last but not least, this is more just for me because Liz didn't watch Love Island, but Peacock announced a new show called Love Island Beyond the Villa, and it's going to be about 10 Islanders from the most recent season of Love Island USA, so season 6, and I'm so excited. I love that season. It was so freaking good, and I do know they have their own like social media presence, but I personally would rather just see it in a reality TV format rather than like YouTube vlogs because I'm just a reality TV girl. So I'm really excited for whenever that show comes out, and I think it's gonna be really good and full of some drama.
And with that, we're gonna move on to the what we're watching. I'll go first because I've only watching two things, and one of them Kennedy and I have both watched, so I'll end on that one. So the first thing is I started a new K drama. I haven't watched K dramas in so long, but my friend Abby recommended one to me, and I started it. It's called When Life Gives You Tangerines, and it's actually kind of funny watching it. I don't know. It follows this girl, and she's like very like stubborn, and like she has like a feisty attitude to her and everything, and her mom passes away, and she basically like stays with her stepdad, like raising her younger siblings and everything. And she grows up, and there's this little boy who like when she was younger would like always like be very attentive to her, and he still is like as they grow up and everything. And they where I'm at, they run away together to like the bigger city, and the tension between them is just really funny watching it, and we'll see how it goes. I haven't watched a K drama in a while, so it's a good little refresher. And then the second show, now this one I finished completely, and Kennedy's also finished it, Ransom Canyon. So this is like a cowboy country Texas show, kind of like low-key like a Hallmark vibe, but not as like love, like happy love, but it is like that Hallmark, like small town vibe, I and Kennedy, I believe, only watched this because of some TikTok edits that we got of it. And that was enough said, we were like, okay, let's check out this show. And we watched the show. The TikTok edit I got was for Yancey, and I think it's the same one Kennedy got. The character Yancey, yeah, he lived up. He lived up to the TikTok edit.
Yeah, I ate up this show. And this show is not something I would normally watch. Like I don't watch country stuff, but again, like Liz said, the TikTok edits. It was so good, Yancy. Yeah, the man you are, and I liked how it wasn't just like focus on romance. Like there was like other aspects that made it very interesting. And I'm like, wait, what? Like what? And like to the end, like it's just plot twist after plot twist. Like you're thinking one way, and it's like, wait, no. Like you're just getting the full story of things slowly as you watch the show, and it's just so freaking good. And I know Elizabeth wasn't a big fan of Lucas, but I ate up Lucas. Like if you just ignore the back of his head, like he is pretty cute, okay? And I just love the romance kind of like toxic relationship between him and the other girl. And it was so good. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat up like a forbidden secret romance in a TV show. And like I just love the countryness of it. And I love that that one girl from Friday Night Lights is in it. I really like her. It was just super good. Like it was just messy and it was given.
I also loved how like it was like at first when you're watching it, it feels like the storylines have like really nothing to do with each other. Like it's just different storylines in a small town, but at the end, everything like comes together and it's intertwined somehow. I'm still a little confused on the whole like economic political stuff part of it. Just the ending kind of confused me a little bit on that. Definitely gonna be season two. Lucas now. Okay. I am very guilty of I will like if the person if I'm just not finding them that attractive, I feel like I lose interest in them. And Lucas, that hair, that mullet haircut, I couldn't get behind him. I will say, like his little like romance with the one girl, I did like it. I honestly didn't find it toxic. I felt like they were like healing to each other. Like they were something that the other one needed, kind of, but it wasn't like a toxic thing. Toxic was the girl and her original boyfriend. I felt like that was a little something. There was one thing that really like obviously there's gonna be some cringy acting at times, like little cringy scene, you know, but you just brush it aside. There's one thing that really stood out to me, and it's this one girl. I don't even remember her name, but she's the
Ellie,
bartender. What was it?
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie. Okay, we're watching this show, right? Why, like, I don't know. I don't even know. There's like 10 episodes, let's say. Episode 8, she starts speaking Spanish. I had to like replay because I was like, did I hear this right? Am I like hearing stuff? No, she was speaking Spanish. And then the next episode, she's like on the phone with like the provider or something and she's speaking Spanish. I was like, when did this become a storyline? I don't know. It felt so random because it wasn't like her name, Ellie. Ellie's not no Hispanic name, you know, like there was nothing that was giving she's Hispanic. She's brunette. What does that have to do with anything, you know? That was the one thing that just really caught me off guard, and I was like, I couldn't look at her the same.
No, it was so like I remember. I'm gonna set the scene. I'm laying in bed. I hear some Spanish. Like, mind you, the first time I remember her speaking Spanish when she was like with her friend or something, and she was like kind of ranting, and then she just started speaking Spanish. Mind you, no one else in this show speaks Spanish, and I was like, what? I'm like, did this girl just she speaks Spanish now? And mind you, they don't make any type of like mention that she's Hispanic, like nothing. If anything, I would think maybe she's Native American. I don't know. So like for her to speak Spanish, I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're doing this.
That part, I literally thought she was like indigenous because at first I didn't even realize it was in Texas. I thought it was like, I don't know, Oregon, like somewhere where like there's like very strong Native American presence. So I thought she was like indigenous or something. But the Spanish, it's the fact we never like saw her parents, her like name, like nothing. It was just so random. And it would always be like she'd like be ranting about stuff and out of nowhere. I guess she got so mad or something, and it'd be like a phrase. It wasn't even like a whole like conversation, which is what made it sound so off guard even more. Like I need more. I'm gonna need them to elaborate on this, or just completely drop the whole Spanish thing because I don't know. That part really, I was like, what is this?
No, because it was given like forces diversity. They was like, here, take it. And it's just like, what?
Exactly that, Kennedy.
But yeah, if y'all need a quick, little cringy, but still good, interesting TV show, watch Ransom Canyon. And I'm hoping for a season two. Like, come on, Netflix. But yeah, and then so I watched that, and then oh, perfect! A car is being loud right outside my window. Hopefully, you guys can't hear that. But I watched at the same time I was watching Ransom Canyon. I watched a true crime show on Max called "A Body in the Snow: Trial of Karen Reed," and uh, you guys, if you have not read about this case, you need to. I remember, so the actual crime happened in like 2022, and I remember watching a YouTube video covering the case back then, but I kind of forgot about it. But it's like kind of come up again because the first trial ended in a hung jury, I think. Oh no, it ended in a mistrial, and so they're having another trial because I think they still want to charge her. But basically, it's essentially this cop. He was found dead, and the two theories is that either the house he was at, where he got dropped off of, which is full of police officers, either they did it or his wife, or not his wife, or his girlfriend, Karen Reed, ran him over, which I personally believe, yeah, exactly. I feel like I don't want to spoil it just in case like Liz decides to like watch this or something. But in my opinion, I just feel like there's more damning evidence for the police officers. Like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna say there was like a text message from like one of the people in the house that's like, how long does it take to die in the code or something like that? And then like one of the police officers at the house, he like before his phone needed to be turned in, he like destroyed like the SIM card and the phone just conveniently. And then they show a little bit of like the victim's body, and mind you, the claim is that he was hit by a car, but mind you, it looks like he kind of has like bite marks and stuff on him, like on his body. And that home, they had a dog and they just so conveniently rehomed her. So it's just like very like, But then I guess you can say there's also kind of damning evidence, I guess, about Karen Reed because apparently I think like one of her tail lights was shattered a bit. And I think allegedly they found DNA. But I don't know. It's just to die from being hit by a car. Like, I don't know. It's, and mind you, it was like a snowstorm happening, and there's like a snow plow that came by and said like, I went by, I didn't see no body outside. So it's just like little things. She does have a very strong support system that believe that she didn't do it, like they're outside like protesting outside the courtrooms. But it seems like his family and the Boston Police Department believe that she did it, and it's just really interesting just because of like the corruption and just the different evidence that's out there. But it's really interesting. Oh,
Are the people investigating it the same like police officers?
not the same police officers, but like the police department.
Okay, yeah, they did it.
Yeah, it's just very like, yeah, if she ends up being found guilty in this next trial, I will be very surprised. But yeah, it's very interesting. So if you haven't like looked into the case at all, I would recommend like watching a YouTube video because yeah, it's crazy. And then so this is a movie that me and my friend Abby were talking about watching. It's called Queer, and it has Drew Starkey in it and Daniel Craig, who was just in the newest season of White Lotus. And I went into this movie blind. I knew it was kind of like a age gap, kind of gay romance story. And I knew it was by the same director of Call Me by Your Name. So I kind of had like high hopes. The movie's like 2 hours. I got like an hour and 25 minutes in, and I texted Abby. I said, don't watch this movie. It's like boring. I will say it's very aesthetically pleasing. I do like the way the movie was shot and the style of it, but oh my gosh, it was so boring. And just like the storyline and just the themes of this movie were just like not for me. It just, I don't know what it was. It just didn't click. And I got as far as I did, and I said I'm gonna look up what happens during the rest of the movie, and I don't regret it. And I just kind of fast forward it to the end. I personally would not recommend this movie because, of course, I watched this movie because I saw Drew Starkey was in it, and he was giving his body was tea, and, but I wouldn't watch it. That's just my personal opinion. It just was boring to me. I just felt like the themes weren't anything special. But yeah.
See, this one is also one that I wanted to watch just because I saw Edison Drew Starkey and I said, enough said, I need to watch this movie. But I guess I'll like have to put that aside and just stick to the edits, you know? Thank you for the warning.
I would recommend that. Don't waste your time like I did.
And with that, we're going to get into our song of the week. And we're going to do it a little bit differently since we are doing unedited. We are not going to play the songs. We're just going to tell you guys our songs. And you guys can go and listen to them on your own. So my song of the week, Coachella was going on. I don't know how we didn't talk about this, but like Coachella and like Stagecoach, which Stagecoach is like the country version of Coachella. And I've been getting a lot of clips specifically of the song, That's My Favorite of the Week song, because I hadn't heard that song in so long and I actually just rediscovered it. But my song of the week is one second. Oh, here we go. It's Little Lion Man by Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, I saw, I think the last episode we kind of mentioned Coachella, but we didn't talk about Stagecoach. And not gonna lie, I be eating up Stagecoach content more than Coachella content.
No, because same. Why do I want to go to Stagecoach more than Coachella? It just seems like, do I listen to all of those country music? Not at all, but I feel like it seems like so much fun. It's so much more casual. Like you literally just go in some jean shorts, maybe some cowboy boots or whatever, but it just seems so much more chill and just a vibe. Like, maybe Stagecoach needs to see us, Kennedy.
That part. And I'm not really a big country girl, but I can get down to anything. And I'll be excited to go when they invite us. And I do know like it gets kind of like a lot of flack, I guess you can say, because all the maggots. But I did see a lot of TikToks from like the liberals who voted for Kamala. So that was good to see. I'm like, okay, so if we do go, we'll be safe. There will be people like us there. And I did see there are also some other minorities there. So I'm like, good.
And I feel like the vibe overall, like just like even if you don't listen to the music, it just seems so much fun.
Yeah, and I think the outfits are really cute too. But for me, my song of the week is We Are the People by Empire of the Sun. I feel like it was just fitting. I've been loving this song recently. On my Snapchat story last night, I kind of had a moment and I kind of mentioned the song, but this song is just kind of like reminiscent of like, it's like my college song. Like, it's when I listen to the song, it's going to remind me of my time here at WKU. Like, it's just such good vibes. It's like, it's giving summer's coming, it's the end of the school year, and I just have vivid memories of listening to this song, just walking around campus, and it's just good vibes. So I would listen to it. Yeah.
And with that, that is the end of this week's episode. Our first time doing an unedited episode. So let us know if you guys like this. Maybe we can get behind this. I feel like it it holds us to not yap too much. So if you guys do like this, we'll definitely do this again. Make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials, all of our social media. Go follow Kennedy's TikTok. She'll be doing some outfit of the days, give you some inspo. And she's also graduating. So you can she's probably gonna make some TikTok. So just go follow. And with that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.